Welcome to Kump. We're discussing the 100 men versus a gorilla. Lucie,
Yes.
how many gorillas could you take in a fight?
Oh, in a fight. Okay.
No holds barred. Yes.
I think I could probably dispose of. Are they babies?
No, they're full-grown men gorillas.
Men gorillas.
Masculine gorillas who the tension of the muscle tension of very strong Schwarzeneggers.
I don't think I would do very well in that situation. But I don't think less than one, none.
Okay, well that's fair. It's a fair assessment. I'm taking 11. I'm gonna try 11 gorillas.
11 gorillas.
Yeah, where did this debate even come from? Who started the gorilla debate?
I don't know. It's some internet thing.
So this just happens. This is where we live. We used to discuss culture and arts in this country, and now one random person on Reddit asks about whether we could fight a bunch of orangutans, and that's the agenda. I like it. It's democratic. So
haven't people probably fought gorillas in the past and in a time when early humans and stuff?
Well, this brings up interesting questions. Like, do you get weapons? I mean, because we have this whole thing nowadays in our modern culture of men and very strong, masculine podcasters, Mr. Joe Rogan, Mr. Andrew Tate. Not saying they're together, but just strong. Jordan Peterson. I bet he gets to fight a few gorillas. And I feel like they would say, I want to fight the gorilla barehanded.
That gorilla is in incredible pain.
The gorilla's your father. Fight your father.
Unimaginable pain.
Slay the dragon. But it does seem like people in the old days would have fought gorillas with weapons, rocks. They were less hung up on that. They didn't feel like they were cheating. I feel like men now, because they're stuck in jobs that aren't hunting all day, that they feel like they'd be cheating if they brought if they just dropped a boulder on a gorilla, which is what they probably did back in the day. They just knew where the gorillas hung out.
Yeah.
And they would just, kind of edge a boulder up to the top of it and then drop it. That would be my thing. If I went back in time, I would say that. And they go, well, the gorillas don't hang out under the rock cliff. And I go, well, I got nothing else. That was all I had. Do you have any paella or something? I mean, I heard the food back in this time was great. No chemicals, no forever chemicals.
Yeah.
No dyes.
They were all eating paleo.
No red 40 and yellow 5. Just pure rocks and sand.
None of those harmful dyes.
Yeah, exactly.
That hysterical mothers are always talking about.
Right, exactly. So I mean, here's some facts about gorillas. I mean,
I love eating dyes.
I mean, look.
Shut up, Mom. I love eating dyes.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they talked about dyes for like 20 years. Like yellow 5 was a thing since I was at high school, at least. And I didn't go out of my way to not eat it. And I think I'm fine. I think everyone would agree I'm fine.
Well, great.
Everything's splendid. The gorilla's strength. The silverback gorilla can weigh up to 500 pounds and exhibit strength 4 to 10 times greater than that of an average human. They possess a bite force of approximately 13,000 psi and can lift weights.
What's psi?
It's when you fill your tire up. That's the air is psi. It's like that. It's a rate. I don't know how you figure that. I only know tires. I think a tire you want between 30 and 40 psi a lot of the time.
Yeah,
maybe more.
How strong you want a bite to be?
Yeah, I want 20 Michelins. 20 Michelin bite. Psychological.
I bet it does hurt to get bitten by a gorilla.
I don't know if you'd feel it. Do you think you'd feel a gorilla biting your arm? I feel like you would just be like, you would just see it, and you kind of leave your body in a way.
Right. It would be more just like your flesh is being rended.
Right.
It's not like it's not really like you're feeling it the way we would feel a human's bite or a cat's bite.
Right. Well, cat. The cat can be pretty nasty. Don't undersell the cat. Excuse me, but
I used to have this. A friend of mine used to have this cat, like a hoarder house cat.
What are you saying? It's like every child had one. Like everyone growing up knew a hoarder house cat. What? Explain.
Like our cat's a street cat.
Yeah.
And she has certain habits of a street cat.
Yeah.
Hoarder cats are fucking crazy though.
Right.
Like they were just like and I remember it would be when I was sleeping over at my friend's house.
Yeah.
On her couch. It would crawl in. It would crawl under the sheets and just start scratching at me.
Oh wow, that's cute.
Yeah.
That can be nice. And and this cat came from a hoarder, like a legit hoarder house. You're saying?
Legit hoarder house cat. Yeah.
Oh wow, and it would just scratch you, and you would let it scratch at you, even though you don't know what it's been eating.
Well, it's like I'd be like waking up from it, going like, you know, I wouldn't fully understand what was happening.
But someone would let it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not good. This is, if you told me this, I would have dealt with this earlier. I'm not happy about this revelation. So you've just been like getting stabbed by like hoarder cats for like your whole life.
Yeah.
Explains.
But anyway, but that's different than a gorilla. A gorilla would be much worse. If there was a gorilla under the sheets with me,
yeah,
it would be horrible.
No, I mean, I'd be very mad.
Yeah.
I would take that as a personal affront if I found you in bed with a gorilla. Tell you that much. I'm not putting up with that.
Well, any self-respecting man would. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'm not letting that. That's not going to be. If that's what you wanted, this marriage, you can pack up. But
the gorilla's just biting me, and you're standing over us going like, "Look, lady, I'm a one-woman man."
The gorilla saying that?
You're saying that.
Oh, okay.
As the gorilla's biting me.
Yeah. Hey, you thought this was open? Your hand's about to be open. Psychological factors. The success of humans would heavily depend on their ability to remain coordinated and overcome fear. So here's a scenario. I mean, I guess the people they're somehow arguing that we because that's the thing. How many could? Oh, I get it now. So they're really asking, could 100 men do this together? Is the point?
Yeah.
Not how many. I took it as how many men would you need? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll reverse the ratio. But they're saying, could 99 men take it a gorilla? Of course they could. What kind of like cock do you have to be not to?
I guess it must be that you're not allowed to have weapons, right? It must be that it's just you. Like you have to use the strength of 100 men.
Oh,
that's the only way it would make sense.
I mean, with rocks, I guess. I mean, does this video have anything about it?
Let's see.
That has a lot to say.
Gorillas aren't built for long fights. They're like sprinters. They explode for about a minute and then they gas out hard.
Man, I'm taking that gorilla. Man, do people know how big them silverback gorillas are?
Surround it, distract it, get on it, you know what I mean?
How are you going to kill it? I haven't heard one logical response or explanation because obviously no tools are allowed.
If we have 100 men out there who are willing to die, give me the men.
100 men versus a silverback gorilla. I want to see 100 men versus a critical thought.
What? All right, no, that's enough out of that. She's done. That girl's done.
She's cooked.
Totally cooked. Over. What? So okay. So no tools, but they gas out quick.
What is it about that delivery that just ruins everything?
The vocal fry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This sounds like someone, giving their last breath, telling their child how they disenfranchised them from the will.
Right.
I gave it to Jeremy. Oh, he came and visited. So you can't have weapons. That's what they made clear just now. You can't have weapons. You can't ban. I mean, look. What would you do? Yeah, I don't. You would basically have one. You would do it the way a prison sort team does, I believe. You familiar with the prison sort team? They're like the SWAT teams that go into prisons.
Okay, all right.
Last I checked. I mean, it's been a while since they might have updated their techniques since I last researched prisons. But the idea, I believe, is that each guy gets like his own body part.
Okay.
So like we're together. Like, I got left leg, you got right leg. This guy's got left arm, and we each barrel through to that. So you just don't get distracted. I guess is the logic. And we would just have like a ratio of like so like 5 guys to the left leg, 5 guys to the, and yeah, I mean it's like you can only do so much. I mean it's gonna be strong. It's gonna be like.
But that might be one of the better responses.
Right.
I've heard about it.
Right.
Because it's just like I've heard people say like, oh, you play keep away from it or
Right.
whatever. But it's like, how long are you doing that for?
Yeah, how fast do you think you are?
And it's like but the whole like each kind of you divide it up into smaller groups.
Right.
And each group gets a different
part
of the animal.
You get the fupa.
Yeah.
You get the taint.
you just kick it in the balls.
Yeah,
over
and you
over.
bite. You start
That would
biting.
be 100 women versus a gorilla.
Right.
But-
Yeah. I mean, and it would just be them. That'd be their kick. It was just kind of. Look, I don't know if we can't discount the immense force that a gorilla gets. It's not like getting hit by some boomer dad
Right.
who won't let you cook eggs. All right, this is a powerful being. So it's gonna throw people away. I mean, there's one guy was like, "Oh, 100 guys gonna die. Give me those 100 guys." I'm like, "Are we just doing this for fun?" I assume we had to like fight a gorilla. I don't know what like these like weird. I don't know what these bros are. These bros are on a different level. They immediately go into like this weird like Hemingway like bro code romance thing of like, give me the men who will sacrifice their life. Are we getting attacked by a gorilla or not? I don't want to hang out with a bunch of men who want to fight gorillas. That's weird. That's not fun. That's a bad hang. All right. I want men who like, yeah, if a gorilla attacks us, we'll do something. We're not just gonna like, suck it.
Look, like I don't want to be like hag about this. Like I don't think that just because men have homoerotic feelings towards other men like necessarily means they're gay.
Right.
But there's definitely a lot of like homoeroticism.
Right.
In
the gorilla fighting community.
In the gorilla fighting community.
Sure.
And in this year's internet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much of because no one's actually got into a fight. No one's actually filed their tooth down with a metal nail file and
Right.
the side view of a truck.
Yeah.
No one's ever worked at a potato bread warehouse in general. So it's like they're just not men. They might go to the gym and they might shoot guns, but they're not. They you can't get phased by you can't be George Orwell, who I love, but he used to like when he's like writing about like miners, like coal miners or people in the South American war he wanted to fight, Spanish American War, Civil War. And he just he keeps going aside. Here's why this guy's a real hunk, or whatever. Like this is I don't know how to phrase this, but I had more affection for this man than anyone I met in my life. And like, all right, it's just some random guy drawing a map. So like, whatever, dude. So this is the kind of stuff we can't. We need men who are just like in the moment, present. And if a gorilla attacks, we go, hey, let's do something. Plan. Let's bullet point the plan. I need one task guy. I need one secretary. Maybe like a small guy who's just really good at writing notes. All right, write down what I say. Groups. Taint biter. That's you. All right, you. And you just do waves of stuff. I don't know. It just seems to me we're just really getting away from like there's too much poetry in the air. There's too much just like it's just so soft.
This kind of reminds me of another thing I see sometimes
Right.
on X or something, where it'll be like, it's a lot of these men, like computer programmers, talking about how grateful we should be to the real men who build the power lines and the buildings and stuff. Like,
Right.
like it's just kind of like it's like these men they sacrifice their bodies, they sacrifice their lives.
Well, we paid them. I mean, they got
it's
paid, right?
I was literally about to be like, that's what the money is for. That's what, but it's like all kind of like it's always like in the context of being like and women won't even make sex with them,
Right, which they did.
Which
those
they
guys,
do.
Look, those guys were all hungover the entire time the infrastructure of America was built.
Yeah.
Like all these guys who died building the Brooklyn Bridge. I mean, is it because it was that dangerous, or is it because like no one thought twice about like tying on 9 whiskeys the night before?
Right.
That's probably a lightweight thing. Just polishing off a liter.
Right.
And then like going to work on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm sure a few of them got the bends. I'm sorry, they didn't know what it was back then.
Yeah.
But this idea, like, oh, these guys, they were plowing at night. They were picking up broads, birds left and right.
Yeah, like at the very least, they were picking up a prostitute or something.
They
like,
wouldn't want your gratitude. They
Right.
would look at your gratitude like it's like worm food. What do they need your gratitude for, you freaking nobody? They built the Brooklyn Bridge. They don't need you. You got nothing to say to them. All right, why don't you go write a WordPress blog,
Right.
you donkey? But yeah, so that's I mean, that's my. I think we got to the bottom of it, and it would take So is it really? It's just 100 men. Yes, the answer is yes. And if the answer is no, then I don't want to know you. What's the prize for being right if you did end up dying? If I came in here and said, yeah, we couldn't do it, and then I had to fight them and I lost, will I get like a little plaque on my grave that said he was right about that? He answered correctly. Why? When someone asks you, could you fight? Just say yes. Just say yes. There's no downside. This is not like some comic book where if some genie, if you say yes, then you have to fight him in a Pokemon match. All right? It's never going to happen. Just say yes, and then if you lose, then we can just, assume that you did the silverback gorilla. So, there's that. Moving on.
Yeah, it's valuable for the fantasy.
Right.
Of actually doing it successfully, of killing the gorilla.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just this is what people go around. They go around that's the thing. No one's going to do anything. Because we go around talking about, oh, we're going to fight gorillas together. And then, like, what really happens is this, which is, I feel bad. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy, but this is a story about a man who fell from the stands in MLB.
This is messed up.
We don't fight gorillas. Let's play this. This is a...
Baseball fans left in shock after a man fell from the bleachers at Pittsburgh's...
That doesn't even look like falling. It looks like somebody pushed him.
Yeah, that's crazy. We should look into that.
This morning, baseball fans left in shock after a man fell from the bleachers.
I don't even know if we can play that. I mean, I might even put a video on because we might get... YouTube might get weird about that. But the guy's falling from the stands. I didn't realize the news would just show you a guy falling.
That's murder. That's murder most foul.
Well, maybe. Look, do you see a guy pushing?
His body has such momentum. Like, it doesn't look like some guy who's like, losing balance.
Well, just describe what you're seeing. Because I don't think we're going to put this video on the thing because it might trip up the thing.
So it's in like the kind of like second kind of tier stands.
Yeah.
Above the first row of stands.
This morning, baseball fans left in shock.
And this guy just kind of like, it's like his body goes up from the seat, like shoots
and tumbles
up from
over,
the seat and then stumbles over.
Yeah, very interesting and weird. Is there facts here? We should have facts. During the seventh inning of a Pittsburgh Pirates game against the Chicago Cubs, a man fell approximately 21 feet, which is a lot, from the right field stands onto the warning track at PNC Park. The incident occurred shortly after Andrew McCutchen's 2-run double. That's not important. I don't think they need to tell us that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it happened after the guy got the runs in. Don't worry about that. Like, tell me about the guy. I don't care what the score was. Emergency personnel, along with team medical staff, responded swiftly, and the man was transported to Allegheny General Hospital in critical condition. So I guess he's in critical condition, but I guess he's all right. I don't know. We'll see. 7 remains. The game was paused. Hold on. This is. Wait, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I worry all the time about falling out of stands.
I do too, actually. Yeah.
They're always like, it always seems so fragile up there. Especially, we went to a basketball game. I was freaking out. You didn't realize it at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But as we were going into the stands, I was falling onto people.
Well, what's funny because
it was so scary to be up there.
Yeah, well, it's weird because like we went to a Nets game at Barclays Center last year, and everyone's like, oh yeah, you get because I'm such a big I'm a big klutz. But Lucie, I didn't even think you, but you still like when you were trying to like get in to your seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like no room anymore. And I thought it was just me because I'm just a pig, but like it's like even for a normal small person, like you can't get by, and like these things are slanted. Or at least it feels like they are, and yeah, like, you feel like if you tripped as you were trying to get over someone's legs, you would just go tumbling down like 15 rows. Like it literally does feel like that. These places.
I was literally like, I was almost about to tell you like I can't do this, but then I remembered like I got you the tickets for your birthday.
Right.
It's like I can't do that. We should do it. If we die, we die.
Yeah, that's me just every day of my life. It's just that if we die, we die. But yeah, so it's like.
But yeah, they treat us like bugs.
No, we're just
city.
mad. Yeah, unless you have a private box and you're hanging out with the owners, like you're basically treated like an animal.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about this is, if you one of these bullet points is what's it? Where was it? Reports. Wait, I just saw it. It was 10. It was Pirates Zone. Oh yeah, game impact. The game was paused for approximately 10 minutes. As the fan received medical, so the game was only paused for 10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes.
You only get 10 minutes for a tragic fall to the. That's the thing about like this grinder, this organ grinder that we call America and Earth. It's not an anti-American screed. It's just what we've built. It's and like there's no way to care because you go, what are you gonna like? What we do? Stop the game? We all came out here and we paid money for hot dogs, and then the hot dogs go to waste. Am I gonna eat a hot dog while someone's not playing? But I can't. I've wasted like that hot dog is wasted unless I'm watching a guy catch a fly ball. If my kids are gonna look at me and go, Daddy, we don't care about this man. Why can't we watch more baseball? I mean, well, no, we're worried about the guy. And they're like, why? We don't know him. He's nothing. He's a bug. He's a dirt. He's rancid. He's just nothing to us. Humanity is very transient, is what my son will tell me. It's just fickle. Life's fickle. Why don't you get in the game, bitch? That's what he's saying to me. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. And I'm just like, hang on, put the game back on. I don't care about the concussion. It just seems like a really callous, but also what could you do? Return everyone's money? Would you have to return everyone's money if you stopped the game? Would all these bums be like, give me your money back? And at the same time, are they wrong if that happens? Because like there are billionaires on the other side of the equation. Mm-hmm. How about you eat this one? How about the billionaire team owner eats this one if a guy falls off the thing? And then the problem is you create a perverse incentive then, because then you'll have these like guys, let's say you get a group of 20 guys, right? Mm-hmm. Which those kind of drunk maniacs are always coming in groups of 20. It's not like a normal friend group. It's always like 20 guys who've known each other since they were 5, and then all they do is just spit and walk down the street together.
Yeah,
and just spit, chanting about just violence. Yeah, and whatever. It's fun. So they'll get one guy, and instead of a designated driver, he'll be the designated faller, and he'll just fall, and like they'll get him a helmet or something, Mm-hmm. But that's what you create, because we're all. It's like, oh, rich people are such bastards. If you give the poor an inch, they'll take a mile. They'll start setting up they'll just like you said. He looks like he got thrown. That's your opinion. I don't know. I mean, but it might be. But my point. But that will be the case. Yeah. They'll throw a guy to get a free hot dog. It'll work itself out. Economics of it. I'm not sure how exactly it works.
I wonder if, I guess maybe, was he trying to catch the ball? Is that what was happening?
Yeah, probably. He's probably trying to read. I mean, does it say it here anywhere? Community incident prompted. No one here. A surprising lack of victim blaming in this summary I have. Lucie wants to know if it's his fault. No. I agree. I'm also, it does pique my curiosity.
Well, no, it's just
oh, wait, here we go. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the witnesses reported that the fan appeared to climb onto the railing before losing his balance and falling. The railing from which he fell exceeds building code requirements, standing at 36 inches high. So, okay. Pirates owner Bob Nutting, huh? Nice. He's doing fine. Expressed deep sorrow over the incident, calling it a terrible accident. Why don't you give his family $20 million then? if you're actually sorry. How about that? I don't believe a rich person's sorry unless they give up all their money. Or like a quarter. How about this? Give 10% of your money every time. That should be the rule going. If I get in charge of America somehow, I think it's a fair rule. I don't mean for everything, but if you do, like if you have a negligent car accident, 10% of your money. Mm-hmm. If you have if someone falls off your deck, I mean, whatever. We don't want to include. Just but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Stuff that's like actually your fault. You lose 10% of your wealth, and it goes to the other guy. It's a redistribution.
But that's what people do to avoid having to apologize. They give up their money when
not that much money. It's not 10%. 10% for a real rich guy is a lot. I'm talking about like a team owner. They typically worth billions. Mm-hmm. If it's anything like the NBA, I believe it is. I don't think there's any. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know if the NBA, the Major League Baseball teams are all as like over $1 billion, but you know, they're a lot. They're very expensive. These are very rich people. So you know, I'm just saying they don't pay like $100 million every time. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it's a different mechanism. Forget taxes and all that. We just wipe off 10%. It's a thing. It's like you get a punch card. You know, like, I eat 5 subs, and the 5th one's, you know, after they click the card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. It's like that.
Yeah, you get a free one.
With your money.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You don't like it. What's wrong with it?
I like it a lot.
You should never put my crazy ideas. So I just want to patent a way to steal money. Whatever. Moving on. So lighter note. Last night, I don't know how this works. This guy. So apparently, a teen shot a man in Times Square.
A vendor.
Yes.
Which is a sacred thing.
Is it? What is a? I mean, I'm not. No one should be shot, but what is a vendor per se?
Well, look, no one should be shot, but then there are some people who really shouldn't be shot, and people who vend tasty hot dogs. I don't know. It's just that's just a little.
But that's like I'm saying. This is Times Square. It's not a baseball game. Like, where are they? I mean, Times Square is like bubblegum shrimp, isn't it? Let's just look at this story.
I remember this mango lady who used to set up her little mango stand on my way to work.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know. Something happened. She got deported or something.
What'd you do?
But then there were no more mangoes.
You called her in because she was, you know, she was catty to you. You asked her. You asked if she took debit card, and she was like, no. And then you called her. You called ice on her. That's fine. We all have bad mornings. Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee.
I gave her. She was like, it's $150. I gave her $1. It was like, can you round up? Like,
round up.
It's $150.
We round
I
up.
was like, what do you mean? I'm gonna call ice on you. No, but I'm saying that's actually one of the few things where I've actually noticed a tangible loss.
Right.
But there was no mango lady anymore.
Sure. And so like that would be your response, you know, if she was gone one day and someone said, someone shot her. But I like those mangoes. Where are they gonna get mangoes now? I don't know. It's just I mean, what happened? She like some guy brutally put a gun in her mouth and said, you know, this is your time to, you know, and there's no heaven. Just so you know that. And then he shot her. And you go, but where am I going to get mangoes? In the early hours.
I miss those mangoes.
Mangoes can be like lame if they're not great, but if they're great, they're phenomenal. Yeah. I'm not an in between mango guy. So, you know, if she had really good mangoes, I'd be on her side.
Yeah.
If they were just whatever, just kind of blase mangoes.
I honestly think that's a big problem with the country is that people just keep deporting mango ladies and they never deport the Sharia City guy.
Sure, get rid of Sharia cities and stop having fruit out of season. All right.
Yeah. You
don't need strawberry. I do. We're guilty of this. I like having fruit, and I don't know when the seasons are. So when they're there, just only give me the option to buy the good stuff. If you're one of those expensive stores that gets the good strawberries in like, I don't know, March, whatever. Cool. What, you get them from Bangladesh? Okay. But, you know, I may be paying extra. Because why am I paying the same rate? You know what I mean? I want good fruit, and just tell me what's good. I don't want to have to talk to a fruit merchant and be like, is this in season? They're going to always lie to you.
Yeah.
I know at me if you're a fruit merchant who's honest. They always are. Actually, why don't you sound off in the pod? And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, make your best case.
While you're subscribing to the show, and then you also put the link for the Patreon on the screen. Why don't you also comment about how if you're the kind merchant for mangoes. In the early hours of April 30th, 2025, a violent incident unfolded in New York City's Times Square when a 29-year-old food cart vendor was shot in the arm. Oh, was shot in the arm. He's right then, right?
Yeah.
The cat. You might hear the cat. Hello, cat. The altercation was occurred. So he didn't. All right. I thought he was. So this is about a guy who got shot in the arm, which is not nothing. You can die from that. But I mean, I thought this was.
He's alive?
Well, I don't know.
It's good. You want to watch the story about it?
Attempted murder. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Just queued up.
Tonight we're getting a first look at the man accused of pulling the trigger. Let's get right out to Fox 5's Linda Schmidt, who is live tonight in Times Square. Linda.
That's right, and that shooting happening after a brawl with a food vendor right here, right where we're standing, in the heart of Times Square. Now, the charges against the shooter include attempted murder and assault. Go ahead, take a look at this video here, because this was shot just a short time ago. Police identifying the suspect as 21-year-old Emmanuel Charles of Harlem. Now, as he was brought out of the Midtown North Precinct, he said his actions were self-defense. Police say it was a much different story.
Yeah, I mean, this is a country. I mean, I don't know why people aren't given the benefit of the doubt for, self-defense more. Everyone's assuming he just did it. I mean, yeah, maybe the guy was giving them bad mangoes.
The NYPD says that he was with a large group of young people. That included
honestly,
some
when the mango's gray inside, it makes me want to defend myself.
Some what? Mango's what inside?
When the mango's kind of gray inside.
Oh yeah,
like
you better
mealy.
not. Yeah, you better not be giving Lucie bad, gray mangoes. I'll tell you that much. I ain't gonna tell you what she'd do because the algorithm. But don't be giving my wife bad mangoes.
Girls, about 4:45 in the morning this morning in Times Square at 47th Street and 7th Avenue. Now, the group got into a brawl with a food cart vendor. This video was recorded by a witness, and we put a white circle around the vendor so that you can see who he.
Again, this is just, we don't need to, I don't have to watch someone attacked and, it's getting bad. Because it's one thing when you have violence in the Capitol, right? Mm-hmm. January 6th, for instance. It's one thing when you have riots on the streets over, what was that? Black Lives Matter stuff back a couple summers ago?
Right.
5 summers ago, whatever that was.
It was a while ago.
You know what I'm saying? But like the riot, the violence, and or the war. But here's the thing: when you can't take your son to the M&M store without worrying about him getting shot in the arm by a mango vendor, or vice versa, that's a problem. That's where I draw the line. Because there's nothing my son loves more than me taking him to the M&M store and just filling his dumb mouth with luscious M&Ms, and they're playing, and there's a guy there. There's some convict dressed as an M&M. He might be guilty of all sorts of assaults and stalking, but he's dressed as the green hot M&M, the girl. Imagine taking your son there for his birthday and get as many M&Ms as you want. Hey, look at that pretty M&M there. Isn't she something? Maybe one day you can smooch her. I don't know.
Why don't you go ask her out?
Yeah, why don't you go ask her out? And she turns him down. I laugh at him, and then we leave the M&M store just having a ball, and he's shot because some people can't keep their shit together in the middle of Times Square. This is a downtrend for America. Times Square is an indicator. It's a canary in the coal mine. If you can't have a nice time at Times Square is like the town square of America.
That's right.
It's the crossroads of the world. We need to police Times Square better. All right.
Is the M&M store like the ultimate symbol of childhood to you?
No, I didn't have. I've never been to it.
The M&M store comes up a lot.
To me, it just encapsulates like everything about this country. Yeah. It's just like, hey, here's these dots of chocolate covered in crappy candy. It's just the worst candy, and let's just turn this into a. But it's not. If you build an amusement park, it'd be one thing. But they treat it like it's like an attraction. It's just a store with like people dressed up in M&M suits and there's candy to buy. Yeah. It's not like you go on these roller coasters. I mean, is there a theme park inside the M&M store? I don't believe so.
Not that I remember.
That would be amazing. It's not the Lego store. I get
it's probably more comparable to like FAO Schwartz or something.
But FAO Schwartz, you could buy toys. There's something about like this country, we got past toys. Now it's about, just some fat kids talking about candy all day. That shouldn't be part of your identity as a kid. What
Yeah.
It's just, what sport? Oh, I like the Yankees and I like M&Ms. That can't be the thing. It just screams. But it's also, there's something so innocent about it. There's something like, it's just the American, the collective psyche of the American people. It's their last gasp at like any kind of joy. It might seem grotesque to you, but it's like, hey, can this be nice? Hey, will you take our jobs, move them out of the country, just flood the country of low wage workers who will just price me out of anything, turn me into a number that I have to compete like an animal for every bit of just existence I have in this country. Nothing's taken for granted. There's no culture. There's nothing to bond over. Women don't like me. It's just the ratios are off. The colleges are just depriving everyone of a future. You got to borrow $500,000 to get a bachelor's degree. But just that's all fine. But just let me have this one piece of joy, and we're taking that away. That's the last brick. It's the last piece of the puzzle. Gunshots across the bow. It just seems to me like we need to. If you don't give people a win, they'll make their own win. All right. You understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I do.
You can't just keep stepping on the neck of America. We have some pride. America is like that, that fat, smelly guy outside a bar who's just getting beaten and pissed on, and just everyone and people are throwing drinks at him and saying you're more beast than man. And he finally I've had enough, and he musters and he gets one of them by the leg, and he pulls his leg and he goes, oh no, there's John goes down. He's got him, and the fat man just starts eating his face. That's what America is, But we haven't even done that. We need to at least eat the face on the way down. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
We can only take so much. And I don't understand why the people who run things, as chaotic as it may be nowadays, don't put any thought into are we giving people more than they can handle? Right. I don't know if we're psychically capable of dealing with the stresses of modern American living as a people. The crypto bros are fine, and the mercenaries who fought in Iraq and then signed on with Blackwater, they're doing okay. But what about the everyman, the plumber, the cabbie? They need things.
They're not going to get any rare earth minerals from Ukraine. They're not going to get anything out of this.
This is the Ukraine deal where they talk about, we signed a deal. I don't think we put this on the thing, but we signed a deal with the Ukraine to get rare earth minerals or something in exchange for not also bombing them or something. I'm not sure what Trump did, but I think he told Zelensky, we'll just attack you too. Sign us this deal. I don't know if this is good for me. And I don't care. And to be fair, I'm for it. Because we there's a country we could use those to build electric tents, something fun. But the average Joe has
massage tents,
yeah,
camping tents that massage you. Right,
exactly. And Sharper Image will have a ball with that. But what's the average Joe gonna do with 18 tons of lithium? He doesn't know what to do with it. It's probably poisonous to keep in the garage, all right? He's not getting anything on this Ukraine deal. Oh, you think, long term he will. Long term he'll be dead, right?
Yeah.
Long term he'll have black lung that he got at the M&M store perhaps, or any other, lovely place in America. Where can a man like that get a fresh breath? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I know. This guy... We're supposed to feel bad for the guy who got shot in Times Square, and I do. I feel for the guy, but I also feel, like something's amiss in Denmark. Is that Shakespeare?
Something's rotten in
Something
Denmark.
sucks in Denmark. -- William Shakespeare. So there's that. I don't know. What is... Speaking of, and some people are, because this story is kind of similar, actually. They want these bodega, because, we're talking about Times Square, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. They don't have bodegas in Times Square, per se, but bodegas are all around. And they're not all Spanish, I guess. I don't know why we always use the term bodega. This is a deli. Mm-hmm. It's not a great deli, usually. They make chopped cheese.
Every once in a while, you see a legit bodega in the sense that all the products are kind of like, in line with that. But,
right.
But it's but yeah, for the most part, it's
It's just a term we use. It's
just
cultural.
something-
It's just cultural. It's
A holdover.
Yeah, it's just a melting pot.
Yeah.
We're pot melting here, and we have bodegas, and apparently they're all also getting attacked. And it's not great. They want a panic button. Apparently, is the thing.
That's terrible. I feel for them.
In response to a surge, I mean, the bodega kid that we met, that guy.
As I've said before, I won't tell the story again because I've told it already.
Sure,
But
go back in the archives.
I've been helped by bodega boys on many occasions.
Many occasions.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a what? I mean, he helped me.
All right, many is an exaggeration.
Did they help you, or they hit on you?
No, help.
What do you mean, they help your ego? I don't understand. All I know about is this one bodega kid who tried to get with you. He was 12, and you said no. You shut him down, thankfully, and that's how I knew you were ride or die.
Yeah, because I didn't have sex with a child.
Yes. Yeah. In response to a surge in violent incidents, including a recent robbery in Bed-Stuy, where assailants impersonated NYPD officers. Ooh. The United Bodegas of America is intensifying its campaign for the installation of panic buttons in all New York City bodegas. All right, I didn't realize there was.
They should just have a panic fridge that they can run into. Just like a.
You just have there's one.
There's one fridge door that takes you.
Well, that leads into my thing, because honestly, I didn't realize there was a United Bodegas of UBA, the United Bodegas of America. I didn't know that was a thing. And I'm sure that they all feel very hurt and scared, and they would like a panic button, and maybe we can do that. But first, can we get the UBA to make the bodegas have their fridges actually work? Because that's the one that, not everybody, but a lot of bodega, I go in to get a Diet Dr. Pepper and it's lukewarm.
Most of them don't work.
Yeah, I can't care if that's going to be, if you don't care about my beverage being cold, I'm supposed to set aside money for some hamster tunnel under all the bodegas that they can sneak to a special location with some buttons and some Mr. Gadget traps. No, I'm not supporting this. Get the fridges working, and then we can talk about safety. All right? I don't want to be some guy pretending to be a cop. I'll pretend to be a guy who likes warm soda.
Maybe that's why the attacks are going up.
Because what do you mean?
It's very frustrating.
You go into a store. You're walking around. It's a hot summer night, and I just want a nice, refreshing Diet Dr. Pepper to just quench my thirst. And you go, and it's just it's 70 degrees or something. It's just disgusting. Or 60. I mean, I'm not sure how cold is it. How cold does it have to be palatable? 35 degrees? 40? Yeah. Get it closer to that. And then we could talk about these fake cops putting guns in your faces. I think it's a reasonable. If I'm the mayor, that's what I'm doing. I'm going, hey, now you got something you want. This is how negotiations work. They're attacking us. Well, now you have a want, right? Negotiations can't work if you don't want nothing from me. Bodegas were arrogant for a while. We'd be like, hey, can you lower the thing? No. What are you going to do about it? We're the only ones who have the soda around here because, 7-Eleven ain't on your block in this neighborhood, whatever the hell the reason is. 7-Eleven always has fantastic temperatures.
I once saw a bodega guy kind of get low-key bullied by a drunk man into selling him his cat. His kitten.
Bodega cat?
Yeah.
Well... Yeah, I don't mind that. Look, I don't think any bodega cat wants to be in the bodega.
It's possible they're not assertive enough,
Yeah, maybe it's got to show more spine. Maybe when the guy the fake cop puts a gun in their mouth, they just go, hey, I bet you're faking it. You think when bodega guys see cops, they should just assume they're fake cops? I mean, it's not bad advice. If a guy puts a gun in your face, just assume he's a liar.
Yeah.
And then whatever. I mean, there's no good answer. There isn't one, right? But it's but it's hey, if I'm the mayor, you want the goddamn button, pony up. What's it cost? An extra $5,000 a month to keep the fridge cold. $10,000. I don't know. It might be expensive. I mean, look, we gotta figure this out. This Zoran guy wants to build public supermarkets, like NYPD
Zoran,
supermarkets.
Fix the fridges.
Yeah, how about we get the guy who might win?
Yeah.
Hey, Cuomo, fix the fridges. All right, or Eric Adams. Make that your thing. The Zoran's, we talk about this on the Patreon, but they come to my house, they want to laugh because I'm pro for Eric Adams. Whatever.
If Zoran fixes the fridges in the bodegas, I'll convert to Islam.
Yeah, I mean, I'll read the, what's the thing? The Quran. I'll read the Quran backwards if I can get a cold Dr. Pepper. Jesus, this is not gonna be a fun summer. Oh man. What else is going on? Where we got? What's this? Tesla. Where's this? So there's this teen charged in Tesla firebombing has been released from federal custody to continue gender-affirming care. Now everyone knows I'm not a fan of Elon Musk, right? Mm-hmm. I find the guy irritating way before anything political. I say this all the time. I couldn't stand this guy for years, and people have been attacking his Teslas, and that's never the right thing to do. You don't just bomb people's cars. So I've never been in support of it in the first place. But yeah, we have this is kind of I don't know what is this a thing that New York's basically like saying like, hey, like screw you, Elon Musk. Let's bring this up, I guess.
By letting her get her surgery or whatever.
Well, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know that that's like gender affirming care is like something you get let out of jail for.
Right.
What are the details of the story? Let's read some of this. We have
a college student accused of firebombing a Tesla dealership has been released from federal custody to continue gender-affirming medical care. Owen McIntyre, 19, is facing federal charges for allegedly tossing Molotov cocktails into a Missouri Tesla dealership last month.
Well, it's not in New York, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What is there a part here? Can we scroll past this to like a part where like they talk about why they let them out, them out?
Apparently, they're a physics student.
Cares? All right. Well, that's why they built a Molotov. Is Molotov cocktail a physics problem?
McIntyre is also on the autism spectrum.
Of course.
And has been diagnosed with ADHD and depression, all of which require medications and treatments that excuse him from remaining in prison, his lawyer successfully argued.
What? Well, you can have ADHD and get out of jail?
This kid must have some dope lawyers.
Oh, wait. I can do whatever I want and just be, hey, I need to get my Adderall. What? What? I like this. I like the little snorts on the way on the come up. This is crazy.
So, rich kid.
Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Like, look, if you wanted to make me get on Elon Musk's side, which I don't, I never will, but I mean, it's crazy how much society doesn't want. Like, I mean, we're in the midst of so much chaos right now, so much insanity. The economy's in upheaval for like no reason. Whatever. I mean, it just seems like no one wants to win. Like the Democrats could. I'm not saying this is the Democratic. I'm not saying Hakeem Jeffries planned this, right? Or or released them. But it does seem like this tendencies. Like people don't want like firebombers going free to get to get a sex change operation.
Right.
Like that's just that. And it's nothing to do about trans. It's just hey, if you have appendicitis or something, all right, we have that in jail, right? They can just remove it in jail, in the cell, right?
Yeah.
Your cellmate can just remove your appendix for you.
I think that probably the craziest policy I've seen that's like, technically like inclusive of trans people.
Right.
It is like the fact that you can change your gender identity some places, like that you can start doing that after you've been put on trial for murder.
Right.
Like after you've been put on trial for rape. That's the crazy thing to me.
That's just like, that. Look, exactly.
Like once you've committed a crime, like if there's a history of this person identifying as trans, that to me is whatever.
Right.
But if there's clearly some motivation, like to change your gender identity.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes to like get you in a less like, a less troubled prison, for example, like
right.
or just a prison with other victims in it, right? Like it's kind of crazy to me that that exception wasn't made
Right.
immediately. Like,
no, of course, like there's no common sense. There's no kind of like just pausing. Every judge, like, I'm not like some crime and punishment doctor. What? Like I'm not Mr. like throw the book at him necessarily. Like but I think I'm a common sense kind of guy. And every judge needs to balance. Oh, we got to balance, public safety or whatever versus the Constitution and rights. Sure. And also, but you should incorporate, like, will this drive society crazy?
right.
Especially in the social media age. You can't just do things and not think like, well, this will obviously get picked up. And you go, oh, they should be able to bully people, like bully their way until not even covered. Yeah. Whatever you're going to say, yes. The public, how the public's going to react. There's no real reason for this exception.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, we're in a state. I don't think people realize what kind of crisis this country's in of confidence. People are not like the average Joe does not feel like anything's working for him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. And no one's got any stake in the game. No one's got any, the prices keep going up. The mortgage rates don't go down. The jobs don't come back. It's a nightmare out there. Unless you're part of the pretty well off crew, so it's just but when you really get into trouble is when now they have to start reading about all the exceptions that get made for other people, weird people, whatever. It's just like it's not even the Adderall is more crazy than the trans thing. Like, oh, I take Adderall, so you can't put me in jail. It's like, what do we?
What do you need to focus on?
This can't be
You're
justice,
in jail.
right? Yeah.
For firebombing a car.
How about you focus? How about you take a wide angle view of this and don't focus? Good point. Yeah, you want
to dissociate in your cell? It's fine.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, there's not much to do here.
The point is we're containing you.
I know it feels inefficient, but that's kind of the point. That's the real punishment, is the inefficiency. Yeah. It's just a waste of time. So, yeah, I just feel like is this the end of the world? Like, I don't, in and of itself, but it's just, it's almost like they're feeding these things to us in like bits and pieces, going like, hey, I know your son can't get health care because of, because of Aurora Borealis. Like, what? But here's a friggin', here, read this. It's just kind of shoving it into the weakest people or the least, the meek.
Right.
The meek who should. Remember Jesus and the meek will inherit the earth? Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that was a
good one, Jesus. When the earth, I need to let me finish. When the earth blows up.
I mean, this person is, I've seen videos of people vandalizing Teslas or whatever.
Yeah.
But like 2 Molotov cocktails.
That's a lot.
That's a pretty like solid commitment to doing something pretty violent.
Did Molotov cocktails, like for the younger generation, like, the Zoomers view Molotov cocktails as MBD?
Yeah.
Right? Like, no big deal. It's all just a Molotov. It's not Molotov. It's like the way, like, back when we were growing up, people were like, oh, weed's not that bad, and it's like, oh, it's not, like like Molotov's got destigmatized at some point.
Yeah.
Because growing up, Molotov was like, a badass thing, like a kind of like a thing you would, if you were like, Rage Against the Machine throwing a Molotov, it was like a thing you would do if you were like starting a revolution, not like we don't like this guy's power. That's just, you can do that. You can do that, but you go to jail then. And that's the price you pay for liberty, if that's how you view liberty.
Right.
Like, you go, oh, that's not real. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think of their liberty. That's how they view it. Like, that's how this works. You're allowed to view liberty how you want. I mean, this country likes to pretend like you're a terrorist, you're not, whatever. Yes, to us, the people are terrorists, but of course, it's inherently a two-sided thing. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to have your view, but then you go to jail. And, like, you don't get to bitch about it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I will say I would love, like, I remember playing Last of Us, and every time, like, the Molotov cocktail, you like the Molotov cocktail, there is something very satisfying about it.
Sure.
Like, I can understand the allure of a Molotov cocktail.
I love Molotov cocktails. I think they're great. But yeah, I would never throw one without going to jail.
I would only throw one to defend a bodega guy if he was being attacked.
Yeah, I just don't know if those are fake cops or not, and I'm not gonna go to jail myself. Look, bodega guys have never done much for me. I'll be honest. They always give me very curt answers. Like, oh, you have you go in there and you don't have ketchup or like any bait, whatever. There's just like there's no like no, but we should have it Monday. There's no follow up. It's all just like oh, like it's just this. We don't have this. We don't have that. We don't have toilet paper. It's very cold. So why am I building a button? You build your own button. Leave me out of it. I'm sick of holding water for every other person in this country. But speaking of that, this is a fun thing. So the Trump nominee for NASA administrator, I believe, right? What's this guy's name? President Donald Trump's nominee for NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman, has come under scrutiny due to past legal issues involving allegations of financial misconduct. In 2010, Isaacman was arrested on fraud charges relating to passing bad checks to casinos, including Trump's own Taj Mahal. I mean, what do we have?
Wait, is passing bad checks to a casino, is that actually like illegal? Like, that's fraud?
Are you asking if purposely writing bad checks is a crime?
Purposefully.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I guess you could argue that like you didn't know. I mean, it's kind of funny like this guy. What did he have, like a gambling addiction or something? Let's see. Arrested at the Canadian border in February 2010, which wasn't even that long ago. 15 years. I mean, it's 15 years. Isaacman was arrested by U.S. Customs and Border Protection at the Washington state line on a felony fraud warrant issued by Clark County, Nevada. He was detained briefly and released the next day. Faced civil lawsuits in Jersey, writing bad checks totaling $2 million to casinos. Yeah, I don't know. Look, yes, that's always gonna be a crime. You can't just write a bad $2 million check or whatever. I mean, or if it's not $2 million one, then yeah, there you go. There's your pattern. Yes, we can assume he was doing this on purpose. I don't know how bad you have to be at finance to like, oh, I was $2 million off in my estimation of how much I had in my bank account. I thought I had $3 million, but it turns out I have 20 grand. My bad. I like this though. I mean, it makes sense. Do we have the picture at least? This guy. Here we go. This is the guy. This is Jared Isaacman. I don't know what is despite these revelations, the White House has expressed strong support for. Yeah, why wouldn't they? That's why he picked him. Trump picked him because he writes bad checks. That's who Trump likes. I mean, even this guy like apparently screwed him out of money. Right. He's like, no, I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I like the way you move. It's what is the just because this guy likes to fucking bet on the ponies a little bit, right? Wait, he can't look at a star and say, oh, it's a star. I'll name the star. Is that what NASA does? You want a fake trip to the moon? We'll send Katy Perry to the moon. Oh, not if you've ever done a 3-card Monty in a subway. You should not be barred from government for irrelevant crimes. If you were putting him in charge of like whatever commission, like, mandates the lotto or something, then yeah, all right. Like, don't let him, but, or maybe HUD, don't let him, I don't know, things that have money they could take. What's NASA? NASA's got no money. They have like 2 satellites. What are they going to sell the satellites on eBay to pay for, horse gambling? Maybe. What is, what do you, what's the worst crime you would let a cabinet level guy? I mean, is that cabinet
really
level even? But, whatever.
Maybe. I mean, shoplifting.
You'd be okay for name
shoplifting, like more maybe like normal human crimes.
Let's assume you couldn't have crimes. Let's phrase it this way. So shoplifting will become one of your exceptions.
Yeah.
Does that apply? Are you comfortable with every cabinet position having that, or would you
Well, the problem is you don't want to go too far with that because then you get people like that that non-binary guy who was stealing an African woman's clothing.
Sure.
But it was
Well, I'm saying, but any, like, I'm saying you're cool with any cap, or would you rule out attorney general? Is my point. Can the attorney general have shoplifted?
I'm thinking universally all cabinet positions.
So every cabinet position, and it doesn't matter what, you could have stolen a bunch of makeup, put it in your fupa.
Yeah.
No one knows any different. You're shoving lipstick inside yourself.
Maybe
in your little rat pocket.
Maybe like public drunkenness.
Sure.
For the men, it could be like I think of shoplifting as more of a girl's crime.
Yeah.
Maybe like for the men, it's more like if you're on the sex offender registry because you were caught urinating in public.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think I'm okay with murder one.
Murder one?
Yeah, you can do murder one. Not like a bunch. You get one murder.
Does it matter the circumstances of the murder?
Well, it can't be. I don't want to nominate any school guys. You guys do schools. Mm-hmm. I'll give a what do you call that? A morsel to the opposition.
Okay.
No school, guys.
But wife killers.
Well,
husband killers.
Look, these are inflammatory terms. I mean, everyone's someone to someone.
Family annihilators.
Everyone's someone's son, right?
Are family annihilators welcome in the Trump cabinet?
No, why? But you didn't hear me. I said one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
One.
All right.
If you had one single dad, then maybe I was. Maybe our new Secretary of State was your family annihilator, but only to you, because it was just one guy. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think everyone's entitled to one. Now it doesn't mean that we let people out of jail to become Secretary of State or Defense Secretary, but we just if you served your time or you got off or or whatever, or if you evaded capture efficiently. This country used to be a lot smaller, and effectively we let the president be above the law for a lot of things. I feel like as the country gets bigger, why not expand that to the cabinet a little bit?
Right.
Let them commit a couple murders. What's the big deal? What you still got to vote them in. I'm not saying like the most depraved guy who if you or what's the cabinet? I guess you don't. But it looks bad for the president then. If you vote for a president who nominated a murderer who you don't like if you really have that much of an issue with it, well, that's what voting's for.
Right.
But I think it should be allowed. I think everyone deserves a second chance, and I think men need to be men. Men are just kind of like we've allowed men to get watered down and get a little soft. Now I'm not saying that makes you a man to do that. But, it's just like, let's not rule people out just because they happen to have a couple bodies on them. Mm-hmm. Well, one body.
Only one.
I mean, maybe a certain class, like maybe transportation secretary and that ranking and below, you can have two. But the big ones, state, treasury, defense, one body. And I'll stand by that. I'll stand by you. So I think that's... Yeah, look, I think we got to the bottom of everything. I mean, we figured out why America is in pain, and we figured out how we're going to stop it by just letting killers in the White House. That's the problem, or not.
God bless
the troops.
God bless America.
God bless all the troops. All right, you're welcome.
God, as Joe Biden always used to say. God bless America.
And on that, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Remember to subscribe.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/RayCump. Have a great day.